And I've come to this theory where I feel like there's two schools of thought when it comes to doing well in a game. So if you can imagine 100 is the best game that you've had ever, and 0 is the worst. How the two schools of thoughts get there is so interesting. On the one hand, you have the school of thought where risk is everything. The more you risk, the more we reward the risk that you've taken. So you're sort of building up to the 100. It's the guys who are flashier, riskier, who take on players, who do all of those things. Building up to the 100. And the other school of thought is you start at 100 and every mistake that you make brings you down a little bit. And nothing typifies this. I'm going to use an example. Nothing typifies this like Velebayi and Shabalala. I watched them last week and both had incredible games. Mdu scored the 2 goals. I think Velebayi had a stellar debut for Kaizer Chiefs. But you could tell that the two players come from different sides of what success may mean, right? On the one side, you have Mdu. If Mdu is trapped in a corner with 3 players in front of him, the school of thought behind him tells him that I need to go and I need to attack these guys. My reward is going to come from beating 3 players and maybe scoring a goal, right? Whereas you look at a Velebayi, and a lot of his game is crafted around not losing the ball and often making the safe decision. If there's 3 players in front of him, he sort of goes, hey, no, and he plays it back, right? Very rarely in that game did you see him go into situations where he lost the ball quite a bit because of pressure. And obviously it's one game. I'm not saying that he's incredible and all of that stuff, and already I'm just trying to show you the difference between the two schools of thought. And what's interesting is how these schools of thought interact with the world. I remember I was on Sporty TV during the Club World Cup and I was doing analysis for them, and they asked me about Mamelodi Sundowns. And I said to them, you guys don't know what you're about to play. This team is incredible. This team is incredible. The only thing that will be able to beat Sundowns is themselves. Because as a culture, Africans, South Africans, those little mistakes aren't punished. So the risks that Ronwin was taking, the risk that Debza was taking turning in the midfield, got them punished. And Dortmund wasn't the better team. They weren't the more technical. They weren't the more gifted. They weren't the more Mnandi. They weren't the more anything. In fact, for stretches in that game, Sundowns was better than them, right? But what flipped for them was, okay, guys, all we need to do is stick on the path and take advantage of whatever will come up. If it means that we've